my YouTube channel. So today we're gonna talk about dating. And I'm here with some of my beautiful friends who are going to introduce themselves right now.
Alright, I'm Vilma, I'm from the Netherlands.
I'm Jasmine, I'm from the United States.
My name is Maddie and I'm also from the United States.
Yeah, this sounds exactly like a first BTS class. Introduce yourself and your country. So this is going to be a video where we're drinking coffee and answering questions / giving our opinions about some of our experiences in dating. This is all from like a Christian perspective, you know? Okay, so we have some questions in a really fancy hat here.
And we're pencil on it.
Yes.
Pretzel.
Yep. Anyway, so we're gonna take turns to get a question out of the hat. We'll read the question, then we'll discuss the question and or statement.
Okay.
Okay, so Maddie will start.
Yeah. Let's see. Does race, culture, ethnicity play a part in your decision to date / not date someone? Wow. That's a good question.
Yes!
Yes.
Yeah!
Yes, definitely.
I'd say yes, absolutely.
Come on,
Is it also where someone's from? Like where?
Yeah,
Or
like
just,
yeah.
where they're from or just generally
So,
like...
well, yes. Yes.
Okay, but you have to discuss it in more than yes or no.
Yeah,
you have
so
to
how
say
come?
why or what type of thing.
There are definitely just some beliefs that I have as myself being like feminist and believing in like the power of equality in women, that there's certain cultures that just don't support that at all. And yeah, I think it would be really hard to enter into a lifelong covenant with someone who doesn't believe fundamentally, like at the base foundation of their values, that women and men are equal. I couldn't do that because that would just,
of course. Yeah.
Okay.
like that would then have its own effects and strains from the beginning, and that would set the whole situation up for a lot of difficulty that doesn't need to be. What?
That just broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would definitely say, I mean, everything plays a part in whatever dating relationship you'll go into, and so specifically there are many cultural differences and clashes and all of that, and so that's something you obviously need to consider before going into any relationship, because there are some of the major ones that you said that are very extreme, and I mean, I think you can find someone who is in the same culture who has those different beliefs in you as well. So it's really just like, I mean, you gotta choose wisely, I guess. But that is something you need to consider by far.
Yes. No, so it's not like I would never do it, but more like be more considerate with how do you figure things out, how does... Like you have to figure out where is this person standing, where am I standing, and it's just a little more, probably a little more effort.
Yeah.
Could be worth it, but you have to really
Like, are you willing
think
to
about it before
embrace
you get into it.
Yeah. Like, are you willing to embrace their culture and
Yeah.
embrace yours as well? Because if not, then I mean, it's not going to work out. So.
Yeah. I think it's also like one of the biggest things though, is like whether that person finds their identity in their culture or Christ. Like, it's like such an easy statement, but especially in my culture, like Christianity is kind of part of my culture, but so many people find their identity in their culture more than who Jesus is. And so when they have their relationship with Jesus or they read the Bible, they actually like filter it through their culture. So there's many things that aren't biblical, such as like believing women and men aren't equal. I mean, that not specifically in my culture, but like example. And so I found that when that person really bases their identity on Christ, it's so much easier. Even though there are still like cultural differences and things that are different, it's so much easier because you have the Bible and you can be like, but this is not biblical, so are we gonna live by this because it's your culture, or are we following Jesus kind of thing? Like it just, but I think it's a statement that is like easy to say, but I found like especially in South Africa, people really cling on to their cultures as their identity. So yeah. On a superficial note, I'm just not into Asians. I just don't find Asians attractive. Also accents. Accents. Yeah. I mean, accents is a really make or break thing. Like for real.
Okay.
Also super superficial.
Yeah, but
I'm literally thinking of what my children would look like if I make a baby with this person.
Next question.
Am I gonna even be able to read this? Am I just gonna be crying? What is the most valuable lesson you've learned through your past dating experience? Would you like to start on this one?
No.
For me, like, put God first, because it's very easy to go off what you want yourself and what you do like yourself. But if you don't put God first, you, I don't know, it just starts wrong. Or not necessarily wrong, but it shouldn't start from what I want, but I should always look at what God wants from me, and I haven't always done that. And we see how that ended, you know? So.
Okay, I think I have something.
Okay.
Come on, Mads, hit us.
So, I would say one of the biggest lessons that I have learned from past dating relationships, I've had unhealthy ones and I've had a healthy one. I think the biggest thing by far was just kind of knowing where I stand, and figuring the importance of that out, of like, where do I stand on my values, where do I stand on just like different things, and kind of building that foundation of what you want, what your expectations are, what you want in relationships, all of those like different aspects. I think just having a firm foundation in that before you even like start dating. So if you're single, that's a perfect time to kind of just build that. And that was one thing that set me up for great success in my like previous healthy relationship that I had. And so I did not have that before on the other ones, and because of that, there were situations I got myself into that I wasn't like fully prepared for, or I didn't know where I stood, and so I just kind of went with the flow. So the biggest lesson is kind of just build your foundation before you even start dating. But if you are dating, then also build a foundation, because it's good.
I've learned many lessons. Don't fall in love with potential.
Oh, that's good.
Like, I know you can't always help it, but I just felt that many and most of like unhealthy relationships was because I fell in love with the potential of this person and who I knew God wanted them to be and who they could be. But that wasn't who they were. I would often like push the people to like become who they are, but I can ultimately not make that choice for them. Because when you're in that situation, now you have to decide, are you willing to take the risk of being with this person knowing that they might never step into who you fell in love with, you know?
That's good.
Or maybe they do, which is great, but you don't know. And you just can't force someone. They need to decide for themselves. I mean, I don't know how to do it. Just run away. Run away. Run. Yeah, but seriously, I just think when you see the potential of someone, but you know they're not there yet, it's better for them to grow on their own and decide to step into that than it is for you to be with them. Because I think it's so like easy, even though you don't want to force them, but you are kind of trying to like help them into it, but it's not fair because they have to choose that for themselves and they should never choose it for you, because if something happens and they're like just back to who they really were.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thing.
My thing is like be friends with them. Like if you like someone, why don't you just try being their friend before you run into the depths of a relationship, before you try to intertwine your entire lives? Like, take time to just get to know them as a friend. Most of my relationships that have not turned into dating relationships, but didn't actually need to, were because I was on the same page with God. the other person was on the same page with God, and both of us just figured out that our best place to be was friends with one another. We didn't actually need to be dating to, like, give each other our opinion on their lives, or hang out and, like, go get food or go to church together. Like, there are different things that you can do just to be their friend rather than trying to initiate an entire dating relationship. And then you actually get to know their personality and who they are and like what they like, without all of these physical things that can like blind you to their actual human. Because you have all this fun new stuff and like, oh my goodness, everything's so fun, we're kissing, blah blah blah, and then 3 months down the line nothing's new anymore, and you figure out that you really don't actually like this person that much, or they're just not cool, like they're a douche. Like, you have started dating an asshole and you didn't know it because like you fell in love with their potential, and then the potential's gone, the haze of honeymoon phase is over, and you're just stuck with a shitty person, and then you have to figure out how to get out of it, which is terrible. So like, just be their friend. Figure out who this person is, because I got this advice from my aunt and I still hold on to it. Like, 95% of what you need to know about someone in a dating or married relationship you can learn just by being their friend. And then just have good girlfriends around you who are willing to give you an honest answer of like, hey, I think you're not being healthy.
People, they're so
honestly, like,
so honest.
They come in, you walk in the house and they're like, so you went on a 5-minute walk with that person you said you were going to go on a walk with? What do you think you're doing? You know, and they're laughing because it's true. But yeah, that's the other half of it is, as well as being friends with guys, like making sure that your friend group or your opposite gender friend group is not as strong as your same gender friend group. Because we can
It's just not easy.
It's really hard. It takes a lot more work. But it's definitely worth it. And I've already learned a ton from these ladies, so.
I think, you know, like what you said is so true, because when you date someone, right, like if you date someone and you both know you're interested from the start, you have this expectation, you know, because when you're dating, like, you only see them in certain situations, and you always like, you do your makeup, you do, I mean, you put your best foot forward as much as you are yourself, where with friends you don't have that pressure. Like, of course I do meet you the first time, maybe I do like, I'm a bit nicer than this and then like the first time, just the first time. But you don't have that pressure of like being like, oh my gosh, is this person gonna like me? Like, even though you don't necessarily constantly think about it, it's definitely in your subconscious when it comes to like the first things you say about yourself or you introduce about yourself. This might be the worst. Oh wow. Keys to sexual purity and dating. Question mark.
She's like,
boundaries. This is fun.
Ooh, that's good. That's a fun one.
Silence.
I don't know. I mean,
Jasmine, open the floor
we want
for
to
us.
listen.
We will talk a lot as well.
okay.
It's true.
So,
I have a lot to say about this.
my key for this is, if you aren't comfortable talking about it, then why are you doing it?
Oh.
Yes.
Like, if you're not willing to talk about it, to set a boundary with it, you shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
Easier
Oh, that's
said
really
than
good.
done, but
That's
yes.
good.
Like,
I like that one.
yeah, a lot of people enter into relationships and then they get very sexual very quickly, whether it's like partially, all the way, whatever it may be, and then they never talk about it, and some person might be feeling really crappy about it.
It's true.
And that relationship honestly could fall apart because there was no communication on how people felt or where they were at or what they were comfortable with, and it might have been a no the one time and it's a yes the second time, and then it goes back to being a no, but nobody knows that because there's no communication.
Yeah.
So
That is a good word.
That's a really good one.
if you won't talk about it even if you wouldn't talk about it to your friends, and if you especially will not talk about it with the person you're in a relationship with, don't do it.
And with that, also like set your boundaries before things happen, not during things are happening, because that's too late. Because at that point you can go, oh, but we can stop there, or we can stop there. But if you said it before, you won't even make it to there, and that's
that's true. And I also, for that, like, set realistic expectations. I mean, honestly, personally, I set this goal when I first started dating, and that was I was not going to kiss until I was married. Okay, honestly, that is not a realistic goal for myself. So it's like when you set kind of goals like that, and you know, like, oh, that's already been like something in your past, and like, I don't know. You can obviously start wherever you want. It's different for each person, but personally for me, that was one thing that I was just like, morally, I don't think it's bad, and so I'm not going to set these expectations of like, we can't kiss, because those boundaries will be broken. And when you break those, then it just like is like, oh, okay, and then it kind of just starts going into breaking more and more. And so set realistic expectation that you know that you can keep, and that you want to keep, that you will keep and can't, you know. And you have to obviously talk about it with your partner, and set yourself up for success. Don't set yourself up for failure, because setting yourself up for failure is not a good idea.
I suck with boundaries.
I think we all kind of.
It's so important to know where you are and not to lie to yourself, because I think this year the biggest thing I mean, I wouldn't say I always thought that I was great at boundaries, but I just thought I was better than I really was, and then I just sat myself down and said, you know what, you need help. You suck. Stop doing. No, but like being in a position where you know that you're not good like at certain boundaries puts you in a position of power, because then when you, like, I completely agree that you should definitely have this conversation first before you actually even get physical, but knowing where you're at so you can actually set realistic boundaries, and then just following through. That's the thing.
A lot of people always say also to do, like, go in group settings and stuff like that, and hang out in group settings, which is good and it is nice, but you're dating, so you're going to be alone. And so I think it's just being wise with also choosing where you will be going. And
yes.
One thing was, one of in my past relationship for a time, he was staying in his own apartment, and so that was one thing that was like, okay, maybe not like go over there, just because realistically something like would happen normally, you know.
I think because it's so easy to tell yourself, but no, you know, like
I was
like, you know, in the back of your head, but you're like, no, I'm not this person, you know, like I can control myself. But you can't. You suck. Just listen to it. That's why it's so important to know where you're at. And I think the other like one of the biggest issues is, like, besides this setting, right? There are not that many people where I feel like you can talk about this, where you can be like, well, I might cut this out, but like I went to my best friend, and at some point I was like, I just think I'm a really horny person. I was like, I was like, I don't know what to do. I was like, I don't want to be this person. Like, just help me. And she was like, just calm down. You just need to chill. It's fine. You're fine. Like, let's just breathe. And I was like, I need to chill. I know that's the problem. Like, don't you? No, but like, especially in Christian circles, people are like, okay, we talk about like not having sex, but we don't really talk about like the sexual temptation, you know? And like being like, girl, don't go to his house alone. Like, So I just think even being open where you can have this conversation, not just with your boyfriend or your whatever, but having girlfriends, don't do it to your friends of the opposite sex. It's just not smart. But having girlfriends where you can be like, this is like something I'm struggling with, like, please pray with me, or like, let's just, what do you do? Like, can you call me? I'm gonna be there for like 10 minutes, call me in 5 minutes. Like, I don't answer, run to the door, knock. No, but for for real.
Yeah.
Like I just think it helps a lot when you have like that open channel of communication.
Don't go on midnight walks and climb in a tree.
Yeah.
Velma and sitting in a tree.
Should a boyfriend... Shut up. Next question. Should a boyfriend lead his girlfriend? No.
Should a boyfriend lead his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, like
That's a question, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a fabulous question. Wow. I think it just depends who you are and what you believe and where you grew up. So for Vilma, it's like no. For me, it's like no. But I love someone who leads because I haven't seen men who lead actually and who lead with maturity and wisdom and discernment. So to see a male leader is actually very, very great, especially in a dating relationship. But you both should be leading.
Yeah. I think that's also what I mean with my big no. Because if you say should a boyfriend lead his girlfriend, then it will be just the boyfriend leading, and that's a no for me because I think it works two ways. You're in this relationship together, and of course it's great. At least for me, I like to say I want to be independent, and I love being independent, and I like to take the lead. Doesn't mean that I should be the only leader, but at least like work together and communicate that together. Because if somebody would always lead me and always do that, I could never do that because I would be super annoyed.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work like that for me. So for me, it would be no, because you both have to lead together and nobody should be like above the other because you're equal.
I think for me it's a yes. I think the boyfriend should lead, but in the way that Jesus, like when you look at the way the Bible describes it, like the husband being Jesus and the woman being the church, and how Jesus led, but he was a servant leader. And so when someone's just like both have authority and value and have a say in the relationship, but when someone is a servant leader, I naturally would follow them because it's completely different from what we see every day, you know. And I just had this talk with another friend a few days ago. And like I was talking about boundaries as well. Like I was like, I'm just like in my relationships, it's something that I struggle with and just feel like I'm overwhelmed with all these things because I'm always responsible for setting the boundaries.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a guy. And he was like, well, I just feel like you're dealing with a lot of things that guys deal with because you're the type of person who always step up when something is missing. And like it's not like it's the guy's the only one, but it's kind of the guy's responsibility to be the one to bring up this thing of boundaries, you know? Like he should take that leadership to be like, this is something we both would struggle with. So because I love this person, you know, and because I want to serve them, I'm going to bring this up first. I'm going to initiate this conversation because I'm an initiator. Like I love initiating things, but I hate being the only one who initiates things. Like I hate it when I'm in a relationship and I always need to be the one who says no, like, or you know what we did, it was not right. Like next time, like I don't want to be the only one who does that. I want a guy who actually says, hey, let's talk about it, you know? Let's decide where, like what is okay and what is not, and who's actually willing to hold himself and me accountable to it. Like for me, that is something that I see as a godly relationship. So I completely agree with the way you see it as well. But it's all about the way you lead, you know? If it's like, no, you just need to do this. But when it's actually this servant leadership and it's this mutual submission, then I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah. And it just comes down to your definition of leadership then. Like, what is a leader and, like, then what is a good leader and what is a poor or a bad leader?
Yeah. 100%.
And a bad leader for me is just somebody who takes utter control of every situation and does not let anybody else, like a dictator.
Exactly.
Like you don't want a dictator boyfriend. See? Like nobody wants a dictator for a boyfriend. It's just a terrible place to be. Nobody wants to be told what to do all the time. And that's not what the Bible points to. That's
that's not what Jesus
like Jesus himself points to. Like he comes in and says, "Here, let me be a part of this, and I want to bring you into the space." It's like he opens up a space and invites you in. And there are certain spaces in this world that men hold. It's a reality that women cannot, because there are different stigmas, different opinions, different places where like
created differently. Like we're so equal in value, but we don't have the same purpose, and that's okay. That's what makes us special. Is we don't have the same goal. But we are equal in value.
And then just having a boyfriend who is willing to open up space and invite you into that. Like, hi, I hold this space. Hi, you hold this space. How are we going to invite one another into the spaces that the other person themselves cannot, like, bring them into? If that makes sense. But, that's what I would say. So, yes, each person should be leading in the spaces where the other cannot.
100%.
So, yes, and yes. Leaders. Everyone should be leaders.
Okay, guys, this is the end of the video.
Finally.
We're done. This was really fun. Thank you so much for participating. I love you guys so much. I'm gonna put all their social media links, not Facebook, Instagram. I don't know, do you have Twitter? Does anyone use Twitter?
No,
I don't get Twitter. I don't understand. But
Twitter
anyway.
had too much porn on it for me.
Yeah, okay. But I just don't get it.
Instagram.
I'm gonna put the link to all of their Instagrams in the description below. So follow them because they're just so cool and beautiful, you know? And then also like this video if you enjoyed this discussion, and subscribe to my channel. And share it with your friends, other friends, tell them.
Comment below your favorite one-liner from this, because we've had a ton of them.
Yes.
And don't forget
to
to share.
Questions, comment.
Yeah, if you have more questions.
We might answer.
We could do this again.
We don't have all the answers, but we're willing to talk about it.
Honestly.
We have lots of opinions. But anyway, I really enjoyed this video.
That was good.
Have a great day, and remember that you are so loved. Bye!